Hey guys, this is Jennifer from the Shooter's Mindset, and we are live with episode 449. We have our co-hosts this week, Greg Cannon. How's it going?
Man, I just said dinner, but now I'm thinking about chicken wings. Don't know why, Jennifer.
I have no idea why you would be thinking about that. Would not have anything to do with me, so I don't know why. Our other co-host, Corey, how's it going?
I'm just happy to be here, Jen. It's been a long month.
How many matches did you shoot last weekend?
Uh, One.
Oh, I'm so disappointed.
I did go to Finland, if that helps.
I mean, that might count as two because you got on an airplane, and I'm super proud of you.
Ah, yeah. I got on several airplanes, and they didn't lose my guns.
I'm super proud of you. And I'm super proud of the airline.
You're right.
Yeah, yeah.
That they
right.
did not lose any of it. In fact, my air tags, every time we fly, we use air tags, and my battery just notified me I need to change my batteries before we travel. Those are wonderful. But no one wants to hear about air tags. No one really. What'd you say?
You can't change the batteries in those.
Yes, you can.
In an AirTag?
Yes, they're 2032s.
I thought
Greg goes by all new air tags.
Worst
Wait,
engineer ever.
wait, what's the date? It's like August 28th of 2024, and Jen knew something about technology and about Apple that Greg did not know.
oh, it's the
The 27th. Yeah, I know.
no, the I was thinking of the tool trackers that you can't change the battery in. That's fine.
Anyway, no one cares about air tags. Our guest of the hour that everyone really wants to hear from, because she's a mighty good shooter, we have Camdyn Powers. How's it going, Camdyn?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, again. So Camdyn is she's not a stranger to the show, but that's okay. We like repeat offenders. So she's definitely not new to the show and not new to the sport. But for anyone that doesn't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself and then about like how you got into shooting.
Yeah, so Jen said, my name is Camdyn Powers. I am from Colorado. So I started competing in the precision rifle sport 4 years ago. I mostly shoot rimfire. One, maybe two, three center fire matches a year, but it's all rimfire. It's what I love. And I actually got into the sport because of my dad. In 2019, he discovered the sport off of YouTube, and he was watching videos or matches, and I was like, hey, Cam, this is something we could totally do. And it was honestly something so fun to get started with my dad and do it together for the first few years. And yeah, I mean, I was hesitant to start competing, but I shot my first match and dove all in. It was not a get used to the waters, it's all in or nothing. So yeah, and in a few weeks, it'll be the 4-year anniversary of my first match. So
that would be awesome. And you just shot a little match this past weekend. What match did you just shoot?
It was the PRS Rimfire Rocky Mountain Regional Finale. So that was over in Hobble Creek, Utah, outside of Salt Lake, and that was a blast. The weather showed up. We had gusts up to 25, 30 miles an hour, and it was small targets, spicy winds, but it was great. Yeah, it was great.
That little 22 is not going too fast, huh?
No, but everyone's making impacts, but it was challenging. And the theme for Hobble Creek matches is high round count, so I believe that for 12 stages the round count was like 180 something. So it was a good match for sure.
Sign me up. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
Yeah. So speaking of ranges, how is having a home range, Camdyn?
That is one of the biggest blessings that So we moved on property 10 years ago, and instantly my dad put up a berm at 200 yards. And little did we know that 6 years later it would become very useful. It's honestly been so great to have a range that I can walk to from my front porch, and it does go out to 220 yards, so it's perfect for rimfire. And
Yeah.
last year when I was getting ready for the IPRF Worlds, that was honestly one of the biggest blessings, to be able to go out and practice whenever I needed to, or right before a match, make sure my zero was good and not have to drive anywhere from an hour to 3 hours to a range. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And you sent me some text messages of props that your dad had built
Yeah.
for you to get
Yeah.
ready for this, also for matches.
Yes. Yeah. So my dad, over the last 3 years, has worked really hard to make an awesome range. We have a variety of props. We have a rock pile, we have a fallen tree that we got off our property, and then man-made props, anywhere from spools to barrels, tank traps, barricades. And then in January, my dad became a PRS match director, so we now host PRS rimfire matches at our house monthly, which has been great. And it's been a really good group of guys that come out and shoot every month. And it was exciting to see the Rocky Mountain region grow into Colorado. And it's been awesome to see the consistency. We're like, okay, first match out, we had so many people show up, and it's been consistent ever since.
Were you
That's
on the
cool.
first
On your
match in Colorado?
Um, there may have been a previous club, but I'm not sure if they're still running matches.
Okay.
I believe if we aren't the only PRS club in Colorado, we would be the second. So,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm a little jealous. I wanted to let everyone else know that you had the home range because you're not going to bring it up yourself, but pretty cool.
It is very, very cool. And we've made friends over the last few years, so we have an awesome selection of targets of different sizes and KYL racks. And it really has been so great. And like I said last year, it was a huge blessing to have it for prepping for Worlds. Just being able to go out there and shoot before school, after work, just whenever I needed to. Yeah.
Was there a bounty as well? Beat Camdyn at her own match that I had seen.
That was at my local NRL club. Yeah, I
Okay.
won a few matches in a row, and so it was maybe like the month before I traveled to Italy. They were like, whoever can beat Camdyn, she's a bounty on her now, so someone needs to beat her. And there, I did win that match, but it was
I saw that, yes.
hilarious. All the smack talking going on at that match.
Not like having a target on your back, right?
No, but it's also all the guys I started shooting with 4 years ago, so it was still fun playing.
Yeah. So I guess kind of prying into your life, you're a competitive shooter.
Mhm.
You work for the PRS.
I do.
You also go to school.
I do.
How do you balance the hats, right?
I want to say good time management, but I think maybe part of it's just sometimes I don't know how I manage it all. But yeah, so I do compete, and it's been a crazy season, a lot of traveling. I think from like April 1st to the 4th of July, I had like one weekend home just between traveling to matches for either myself or work. And I do work for the PRS. I started as one of their marketing specialists in January, and that has been really awesome. I do well, there's another gentleman who works as a marketing specialist. His name is Ryan. So together we do the social media, we do photography, we'll travel to matches to get video footage and photos, and we work with our sponsors. So that has been honestly so great. I love that I am going to college to get my degree in business management and marketing. So it's been awesome to have my job that's marketing that will help school and have that real life experience, and then my school helps my job, and so that has been really cool. And it's working for the PRS has been a fun challenge because we do so many different things, whether or not that's reaching out to a sponsor or working with a sponsor to social media posts to traveling, and it's been a phenomenal job to have.
Yeah, it's kind of a unique business because it's an event-based company,
Mhm.
but match directors put on the events. So it's a little bit different than your standard event company.
Yeah, it is. And it's plus I also love the sport. So being able to work for the company that's behind so many of our competitions and know what goes into it is really awesome. And then also realizing how much work our match directors put in. And then also really, I mean, it is the shooters that will keep us going and keep us growing and, make everything worthwhile. And yeah, it's been really cool to work for. And it has been different. I worked for Hawkins Precision, which that was product marketing, and now this is event marketing. So that's been fun.
Yeah. So what's an ideal day like for you?
First and foremost, coffee. Gotta get that going.
And a girl.
But then I will, and what's really great is the PRS is flexible with my school schedule. So I will work for the PRS for about half the day. And then the second half will either be school or out practicing. Um, and and then as of most recently, I've been fortunate enough to help assist in the event planning for the 2024 IPRF Centerfire World Championship. So that has taken up some of my evenings, is just planning the event, whether that's the t-shirts, the stickers, the signs, the banners, supporting the match directors or the team behind the match directors any way I can. And my mom is actually organizing and running the opening and closing ceremony, so I will
Yeah.
help her with some stuff. So yeah, but just work, school, shooting, more work, and it really is a blast. So,
I
and then
see.
obviously family time. So
I see what Greg did there. He was stressed. He was really mad at Italy because they set the bar for the opening and closing ceremonies, and he was real mad about it. He was like, dude, why'd y'all have to do that to me?
I know. And I mean, me being there, I'm like, oh my gosh, this was amazing. And so, I mean, Italy really did a phenomenal job, and we are going to try our best to raise our bar high, but it was phenomenal. So
That's
we're going
just
to do
funny
our
that
best,
he passed that buck.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, just
Y'all got a good
trying to.
rooftop for me to stand on at the closing ceremonies with my camera again? That was fun.
Unfortunately, not a rooftop, but we can probably find some platform for you.
I
We
was
got
on
you.
the if you watch that footage and you saw like the eye in the sky view of people walking up and the flags and
You
stuff,
were
I was literally like
there.
standing on the roof of the bar.
Yes, you were. That was, and it took me the longest time to realize that. I'm like, is that Gray on the roof? So,
You have video of him crawling out from under the fence too. It was really kind of funny.
And you got video of me crawling out of that car in that town I got the ticket in and all sorts of stuff.
cool.
It's a fun trip.
It was
It
fun.
was a fun trip.
So Camdyn, what are your goals this year as a competitor?
Oh, good question. Well, it's been an awesome season so far. Coming out of Italy, I didn't know exactly if I was going to pursue the 2025 Worlds. Um, Obviously competing, I still wanted to do. I still loved it, but I treated Italy as such a once in a lifetime opportunity that I was like, okay, am I going to go? Because they changed the qualification process. So now there were well, I guess 6 have already taken place, but in total 8 USPRA matches that are a qualification match for the world's team. And so I was like, I'd have to go to those and, still have a really big year of competing. And honestly, it was one of those just like overnight, like, nope, I'm going to go for the 2025 Worlds. So this year, I've been fortunate enough to go to some of the matches that act as a qualifier, but then also just other matches. I went to Utah to support some of my good shooting friends at their NRL 22X match, which was awesome. And yeah, I went to the NRL finale, and then I'm now prepping to go to the PRS finale, which is 7 weeks away, 8 weeks away. And yeah, then really my goal for the next coming months is just to stay up to date on practicing, stay fine-tuned. And I know there'll be some matches in the spring, and I am hopeful that in March, when the team is announced for the 2025 Worlds that will be hosted in England, hopefully I will be on the team. And yeah, and that'll be a huge honor to once again represent Team USA.
That would be super awesome. So
It would.
no big goals, just national championships, making worlds teams. I got faith in you though. I think you got this.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited, and I'm very excited it's in England. I know that the Great Britain team will put on an amazing match.
Yes.
Hopefully the weather isn't too wet and rainy, but if I make the team, we will find out. So no, but it's gonna be a good year regardless of what happens. So
Awesome. Well, I wish you the best of luck and all that.
thank you. Thank you.
So we're about at the midpoint of the show. Remember, if you're watching us live on Facebook, ask any questions you may have in the comment section of the video. We'll ask it live on air. Other ways to catch, you can always check back on the Shooters Mindset Facebook page. The videos stay up there forever. And we usually upload to all the podcast apps the night after the show. Then finally, everything eventually ends up on the Shooters Mindset YouTube page. So that's a great place to look up past episodes.
So you talked a little bit, Camdyn, about how you have gotten to learn a little bit with, working for PRS, and now you're getting to see the inner workings of match directing and what it's like to put on a match and kind of the behind the scenes, which is always kind of an interesting thing to see the other side of the curtain, right? So
yeah. It is.
How important do you think it is for competitors to also be involved with hosting matches and that side of it?
I love that question. Yeah, so my dad is the one that will, host matches and design and set up the course of fire. Since I do shoot them, I very much stay out of that process. But I help tear down and move props if needed, whatnot. But I think it's so important for competitors to be involved in their local club. And some people do not have a desire to be a match director or design a course of fire. And that's perfectly okay because we all have our own strengths. But I have seen, going to so many matches, I've seen how appreciative match directors are if somebody stays after to help clean up or help tear down, or if they aren't maybe competing that month, they'll go ahead of time and help set up the course of fire, or even bring food out, and feed the competitors. Like, it's just any little thing that'll help the match directors. I think that's so important because yes, it is just one day out of their month, but the prep time that goes into matches and the time to set up. And I know match setup from a rimfire aspect. So, if a target has to be changed, it's 50 to 200 yards, not that far, but for a center fire, like, those targets are way out there. So really just being a help or a support system for your local match directors, I think that's really important. And I would encourage anybody to consider helping. And even ask your match director, like, hey, if you're planning on going on vacation, like, I can do the course of fire, or a group of us can. I think it's really important for us competitors to give back, and it's been really cool. I've RO'd a few matches, and that's fun to see that perspective and to take a break and just help out when we can. So yeah, if you have a desire, I would not be hesitant to ask your match director where he needs help, if he needs help, and if he says no, go pick up some props anyways.
No, they will never say no. I have never seen a match director say no to that question.
I've seen like one or two.
Do you need any help?
Go pick up a target anyways.
If they say no, take them to the local ER because they are probably dehydrated and overheated and furious.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
At that point in time, I'm just like, just take everything. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is great having help. You know, and it's
It is.
listen. Precision rimfire is the easiest to set up for.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it because like all of my targets are like this big. Like I can carry all
Oh,
of my
yeah.
targets at one
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Definitely.
I take that back. This is for 125-yard NRL 22. You'll have bigger targets when you're going 200 and 300 yards, but like
Right.
all of my main targets I can carry. Like I remember when I first started, the USPSA club guys were like, "Here, we'll help you set up for your first match. You know, we'll help you haul all your steel targets out there." I'm like, "All right, well, here's the steel
Here
target.
they
To carry them."
are. Yep.
And they're
Yeah.
used to, you know, okay, we need 5 full-size half-inch IP6 for this stage.
Oh,
Mhm.
But I mean,
oh,
you're right. And I think with the IPRF, I know that's a really big, huge international match, but like
Yeah.
people don't realize the amount of time they're like, oh, well, yeah, Greg Bell's given up, a week of his year or whatever. Like they
Dude,
don't realize it's been a
No.
year he's given up, and
Yes.
it's
yeah.
like literally a full-time job for a month probably leading up
Oh
to
yeah.
it.
I think
Yeah.
he
If
said he's
not
getting there.
more.
He's
Yeah.
getting
Yeah,
there
he's getting there
first.
now.
Yeah, they're all gonna be getting there the first to the second. Like I know, I know their schedules, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're giving up, 3 weeks. And Ken Wheeler is one of the match directors, and he's my boss. I mean, I'm like not gonna, I'm gonna see him because I'm gonna be there, but he's not gonna be involved in anything PRS for those 3 weeks because it takes up so much. And and I mean, Cameo is not an easy range to set targets of at. Like you have to walk up the hills. Like it's not easy, and so it is really difficult. But the amount of volunteers that we've had, they're coming in beforehand, they're coming in during,
Yeah.
they're coming in after for setup and teardown has been phenomenal. It really has been. So that's been awesome to see, and a
Yeah.
comfort knowing it's
Yeah.
not going to be 2 people hiking up targets places.
Well, Greg Bell did a lot of really good things, but I think the best thing he did was tap people that had strengths that they could do it, and he
Mhm.
knew they could do it really well.
Yes.
So like that, as a person that's putting on this event with a ton of volunteers, that's probably the
Yes.
best skill you could possibly have,
Mhm.
It
is
is.
knowing which people can help where and just saying, please.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Did we have some lives?
Oh yeah. Ken Wheeler said Camden with like 75 exclamation points. So that was fun.
Again.
Ryan Charlton asked, what English things can we bring to Cameo for you?
Ryan, please bring me straws. If nobody knows what straws are, they're gummy, strawberry shaped gummies, and they're phenomenal. He brought a ton of them to Italy. So now every time I have one, it's like flashbacks to Italy up on the hillside, hot, sweaty, and you're sipping half melted straw. It's amazing. Yeah, I need to message him and his wife Annie and be like, straws, please welcome them.
It's just 7 strawberry emojis.
Right? Right? Exactly. You would know what that means.
Oh my gosh.
I think was Prentice also in the comments?
He did ask, do you want to ask that one?
I think he wanted to know when you're going to grow up.
Well, I'm going to try to not grow up too much.
Smart.
Some people may say I'll grow up when I get new boots with larger heels. But I probably won't
Some
grow up until I can be
people.
as cool as Prentice. So until I can reach that point, I won't grow
I was about to say, has Prentice grown up yet?
up.
Actually, yes, with an asterisk. From where Prentice was, Prentice has grown up very fast, but he was living a very wild life.
Oh,
Ashley might
Yeah,
have.
I think he might have lived 3 lives already. So it's kind of changing gears, right? You shoot for a lot of different companies. Some people would say sponsored shooter. Do you see yourself as being an example to the next like generation of shooters?
I hope so. It is. It's. I'm not one of those ladies that will be like, I'm a woman, hear me roar. I'm gonna, beat all you men, and you're gonna feel the pain. But as a
You
lady,
do.
I was about to say, but you do. Like, you don't say it, but it happens.
It's
but
painful.
it is. I mean, with being a lady, I always hope that I carry myself with grace and with kindness. Um, Obviously, we all have our bad days and our bad moments, especially if we get off a stage and not do so well. But I do want to be an example, and I want to be an example of a godly woman in the sport. I want to be an example of a good sportsman, and I want to always help people because it is a competition. But at one point, what good will it do if you are rude, if you don't help your fellow shooter? Especially, it's one thing when you're helping them when they're at their best and you're spotting for them and, celebrating their victories, but it's another if they're not having a good day. Like, help them, be a good
Yeah.
person and, help them along their bad moments because I know guys have come along me when I'm down, when I'm not doing good, and they've been an encouragement. So I always want to be an encouragement to people, and I also love when other ladies are out shooting. I like it when I see them do well and they could shoot with their husbands, or there are other um, father daughter duos out there that I love because I started shooting with my dad, and I don't take wearing a jersey lightly. I know some people would say, "Oh, you're a jersey shooter," but it truly is an honor to represent companies that have entrusted me with running their products and openly stating that I am one of their ambassadors or pro shooters, whatever the title is. And I think that I'm so thankful that they've entrusted me with that. And to part of that is I want to be able to give back to them. And if I'm not a good sportsman, then what good is that doing for their
Yeah.
product and for the reputation of their company? So I hope that I'm a good example, but I know that some people don't necessarily get along with me or whatnot.
No,
But
I think everyone gets along with you if they're decent people.
Hmm.
I've seen you at the range, just like no cameras, just hanging out,
no, but
hundreds
it's
of
so much
text
fun.
messages. I know that's you, but do you think it's important, like whoever you are, just to be yourself?
Absolutely. I mean, each one of us, the Lord has created us to be who we are, and like He's created us with strengths and weaknesses. And I think trying to be somebody that you're not is not embracing that, and that's sad. Like every one of
Yeah.
us has our strengths, and every one of us has our own personalities and something that we bring to our job, to our family life, to our friends, and to the range. So, and I mean, I know Corey, you're such like a fun person to be around, and like Jen is like so
What?
calm to be around, and oh, come on, and like Greg is just like so chill and so nice. You can like talk to him about anything from chicken wings to guns. But no, I think it is important to be yourself, especially then that shows integrity, and integrity is something that not everybody has. So when somebody does have that, I think it's awesome.
Yeah. And eventually, I mean, you will be whoever you are, especially on that bad day where you need to take a walk, maybe go to the other side of the range before you get to the next stage.
Yep. Yep. I mean, Corey, you've seen me take walks before, like when my zero shifted
Very
at one of
short
those
little steps,
decision matches,
angry
and
steps.
I had to take walks with my little numb legs. It's yeah, good days and bad days.
Yeah, I mean, some days everything works. Some days you're checking to make sure your ammo is going to fire with your chamber.
What?
What?
Don't
Who
have.
would do that? Totally.
You don't need to show a
happens.
video
It
or anything.
happens.
Yeah.
That is
So
fun.
it's
You handled it with grace.
there may be a few cheers, but I'm glad that you saw it with grace. No, but
You weren't swearing. That was a step beyond me.
no, but it is such a blast to be able to. I mean, even just being trusted with new products, like, oh, I get your house something new, and it's been awesome to be
Oh yeah,
supported by companies and be able to support them in return.
yeah, for sure.
I definitely think you got your priorities right there. It's nice to hear somebody that has that take on it. And I know there's a lot of sponsored shooters that have that mindset, but then there's a few of them out there that might not be doing the best job of representing people that are on their jersey. So it's good to hear that you kind of got that priorities right there and understand that it's a two-way street and it's not, oh, I'm the best in the world. That's why I drink 7 Select pure water. They give me this stuff free.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish you would have had a fucking big red, Greg.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I started getting serious about this sport, I actually had a conversation with a gentleman who works with a bunch of sponsored shooters about brand ambassadorship. And that was really eye-opening because something he did say was there are people that are meant to be sponsored shooters and people that are not. Like, not saying that to be mean or to pinpoint anybody, but just being a sponsored shooter is more than just a jersey or the free products. And he was like, Camdyn, before you ever say yes, you need to do a hard check. And if you want to say yes, if a company is like, hey, rep for us, is that something that you're doing out of an ego or out of a yes because I love this product and I believe in the company? So that was huge and really it sticks with me still to this day. So
Yeah, that's good advice. And it is kind of nice to have somebody on the other side of that sponsorship contract that you can kind of talk with.
yes, it is. Yeah, definitely.
So being involved in the industry, what would you like to accomplish professionally?
Oh, oh man. Well, I've actually had this conversation with Greg and Corey before, but I love the precision rifle sport. That is something that I know and love. But I understand that in the firearm industry, it only takes up a small percentage. So something I would love to do is just become familiar with different shooting disciplines and all the gear, the company that supports those disciplines, just to have more knowledge about the sport or about the industry because I love one sport and I'm not saying starting competing in different disciplines. I think one is plenty for now. But just gaining respect for different disciplines and what all goes into them, I think would be really intriguing. But I mean, right now, really shooting worlds in school are kind of on priority, but um, I've had some great opportunities to go to like the NRA annual meeting with Burris, which was really awesome to meet people in the industry and even get to know people at all different stages of their gun loving selves, so not just gun enthusiasts or a competitor. So that's been really great. And I know there are some future opportunities similar to that, which I'm really excited for. And yeah, continuing to grow in my job at the PRS, and then we're halfway through college, so then finish strong with college.
After college, do you want to stay in the industry?
Yes, I would love to stay in the
100%.
industry, and yeah, and I truly love it, and the people are so great, and being able to work for the PRS has opened my eyes to the amount of companies that are in the industry and that support the precision rifle sport and any other shooting discipline. So that has been really cool. And yeah, I want to stay in the industry. It's larger than I ever anticipated. So I know there's a lot of exploring room.
Yeah. From everything I've heard, if you like it, it's a place that you'll want to retire.
Yeah, definitely. And I love it.
I love the I say this every time that we go to SHOT Show or any of the trade shows. It's so neat to see all of the companies that are competitors, but they still get along well and are gracious to each other, and how even
Yes.
in the industry they are supportive of each other. And I tell this story on Tate Streeter all the time, but whenever I first got into, I had done 3-gun, and then Regina Milkovich is why I'm broke. She got me into precision rifle. And I blame her every time. But I was like, looking for an action and trying to decide. And I'd posted on Facebook, like, tell me what action you use and why.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't want to hear like,
Yeah.
oh, you should buy this because I like it or because
Yeah.
I use it. I wanted to hear like,
Yeah.
why is this action better? I want to hear like
Mhm.
your reasoning. And it was
Yeah.
really interesting, the things that I got. But Tate Streeter, who at the time I did not know his, place in the industry, but he wrote on
Right.
there, he commented and said, because, of course I did the show, so I guess
Yeah.
he knew of me from that, but he wrote on there and said, you should get the action that feels the best to you. You should
Mhm.
go and play with some actions and get the one that fits you the best. He didn't say you should buy our action. He
Yeah.
said you should get the one. There's all these actions that have been mentioned are really
Yeah.
great actions and great
Yeah.
companies. You should get the one that's good for you. And then later to
Absolutely.
find out who Tate was, I was like, that really is a testament that within the industry, and I feel like the scope guys are the same way,
Yes.
Yeah.
they're, out eating dinner together and,
Yeah.
yes, they're competitors in the industry, but
Mhm.
it's like a big family. And
Yeah.
I do love the gun industry like that. I'm just saying, you probably don't see Coke and Pepsi executives sitting together at dinner.
Yeah, no, the industry really is so great. And
Mhm.
I've run variety of gear and people be like, well, what about that? I'm like, well, go and try this bag or that bag. Or, people are like, well, if I don't want a burriscope, well, which one would you recommend? I'm like, oh, well, I've heard great things about this one or this one. And, because it's personal preference. And I know some people don't like a burris because of the reticle. Well, then, some people don't like a different scope because of how the turret clicks, it's just really personal preference. So yeah, when you see an ambassador for a company being truthful of all the options, it's so great to see. And the
Yeah.
honesty is really amazing.
Christopher Webb said that he only had a couple of interactions with Camden and they were great. She is truly humble and a great ambassador, unlike a few other ambassadors I've met. Mama Powers was awesome also. I was squad mom and Miss Powers took most of the burden off of me.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Squad mom can be a stressful job sometimes, depending on.
My mom is the best squad mom. She'll show up with snacks and like Tylenol, Band-Aids, like liquid IVs. Oh, if you need it, she has it. She's epic. Oh yeah. Now I remember
Confirmed.
that match. I remember actually that interaction with my mom and Christopher. I actually remember that. That's awesome.
So we've talked a lot about what you might want to do, professionally and all, but where do you see our sport in 5 years? I know it has evolved a lot in the last, even since I started shooting it, it's evolved and grown, and I think it's become more organized. It started
Yes.
out 10, 15 years ago. It was just, a backyard match, basically,
Mhm.
with all of
Mhm.
the big matches were even that.
Yeah.
So where do you see the sport in 5 years for both center fire and rimfire?
Okay. Ooh, I like that question. I'm gonna answer probably rimfire first because that's what I know more about. Even since I've started shooting 4 years ago, I have seen the sport grow, and I'm not talking about numbers, but I'm saying like there is this serious aspect of it growing, especially now with like the world championships and having more difficult matches available for competitors that are more serious, but you still have the more local club matches, which are still important. They're not, less important because they're not, I'm going to say, as hard. Um, for the people that are getting into sport or don't want to become diehard competitors about it or coming out with their family. And I have seen the sport grow on the rimfire aspect. I do want to say safety as well. I think that's a huge thing that I've seen it grow in. And I also know that that will bleed into the next 5 years. And a lot of people, I think, respect it more because it has grown from being a backyard little rimfire match to being a national level match or a regional match that's larger, that's a qualification for a world event. Like the world championships, I think will play a huge part in the next few years to show people in the industry as a whole, like precision rifle, it is newer. it is maybe not as refined as some of the other shooting disciplines, but it will get there, and we are getting there by the world championships, and that there are so many competitors trying to be on the team because they see that it is a legit competition where the best come together. um I see rimfire growing a lot internationally too, and like from the centerfire aspect, working for the PRS, I have seen um just the analytics and the statistics of our sport growing internationally through centerfire, and that has been so cool. And shooting last year in Italy really opened up my eyes to how large it is outside of the US. And so for both rimfire and centerfire, I can see it growing massively internationally, and I can see a lot of Americans going international versus the international always coming to the US. And something that I don't know if it's going to happen, but what I want to see is like a lot larger matches. Like, I mean, even national finales being like 400 competitors. It would be a
Yes,
lot,
please.
but I think it can happen. I was actually talking to some people over the weekend of how it could happen, and so that's something that I think would be really cool, is making the finales the finale, like a
Yeah.
huge event.
So
Yes.
how would we do that? Like, I'm
It
curious.
would
What's the plan?
I mean, it is hard because not a lot of venues can have like a ton of different. So I know one way we did think about it was there would be two stages. There are exact replicas side by side, and you would run 20 people through what is essentially one stage, but it just split into two. So it would still be like 10-person squads to have the flow good, but they would shoot to the same. So you'd have
Oh, okay.
Where you have twin
So you have a
sticks?
duplication of the prop or whatever's there,
yeah,
and you're
yeah,
shooting
it's like
a duplicate target.
yeah,
Okay, so like Tango 1, Tango 2, and then oh, that'd be
basically.
fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Especially because we're like, you can easily, make the exact props and same target size, same distance,
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatnot. And
Left side of berm, right side of berm.
yeah, yeah, you'd have like target markers that are like really clear, you shoot this, whatever. That was one way because 400 people were like, I think that'd be the best way, but obviously we're not sure.
Yeah.
And
That'd be cool
I
to
mean, the
have.
only other thing you could do would be like 25, 30 stages and do it over 3 days. Do 10, 10, and
That
10.
is true. That is true. And that would
But
be, I mean, that would be so cool to have.
yeah, but I like that duplicate idea. It's obviously technically kind of difficult with the
Mm-hmm.
props when you get like the more exotic, like I have a helicopter welded to the top of a Connex or lifted in the air with a skid steer. That's fine.
Yeah. 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 So we kind of like that. And we're like, you know what? Maybe that's something, because the
That
people
is
also have to
interesting.
do, it is interesting. Yeah. So who knows? Maybe in the future we'll have 400 people at a national finale.
so Regina brought up a good point. If the program could do it, the finale can do it.
Yeah.
And so at the gap
Exactly.
run, you have 20-person squads,
Mm-hmm.
and I swear sometimes the gap grind goes faster than 200-person matches.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so if you have a drill sergeant of a MD
Mm-hmm.
to keep everything in pace, and you have the right logistics to move people around, like there's no reason you couldn't do 20-person squads if you
Mm-hmm.
can get everything to go fast enough. Now it would definitely need to be I forgot what all the RO options are, but you definitely need squad or stage designated ROs. But
Yes.
So option one,
think by the
there are
time
no other options.
you would think by the time you get to a national finale, it would not be new shooters. It would,
Right.
you
Yeah.
should be able to
Yes.
expedite through because it should be the
Yeah.
more experienced shooters.
oh no,
Mhm.
more experienced shooters are horrible. It's just like open
Bingo!
PSA. Yeah, they'll
Well, I
sit
think
there
we need,
and they're looking at the wind and they're like, man, that breeze is a little bit more than it was before. Let me just hold my rifle and act like I'm getting ready for a couple minutes here and
do you know
load
what we need
and
to
make
implement?
ready.
Do you know what we
Don't
need to
forget the
implement?
interrogation.
Yeah.
Right?
You know how at the gymnastics at the Olympics, they have the red light and green light for like, you have to wait. And
Yes.
then like when it turns green, they only have like so many seconds to go,
Yeah.
like to start. And
Yeah.
then, and so it could be like, okay, your green light's up. You have 20 seconds to nod to the RO that you're ready. And then,
Mhm.
then
Yeah.
they're going without you and, or you lose your
Yeah.
spot.
Exactly. Well, I think with it being a
Grown people
national,
crying. We did that.
right? Well, I think then too, with it being a national level match, you would have all the volunteers because, like, yeah, it's the finale. Yeah, let's go with the finale, and yeah, you would need someone to keep it efficient. But I mean, if you grind it into shooters, like you only have X amount of seconds between shooters, or you will have a warning. After 3 warnings, you're done. Like, no one wants to be DQ'd. So,
Spicy. I like it.
Yeah. That would be cool
yes,
if there was like an automated system that would do it. New
it
timer.
would be. That would be cool. But, yeah, I think our sport's gonna grow. I think I mean, it's already grown in the last 4 years since I've started competing, which, I mean, is so small compared to, honestly, like you guys who've been in it a lot longer. But I think it's really gonna grow, and I want to say like the numbers will grow, but different aspects of it that will make it more of a respected sport, and that I'm excited for.
I think rimfire really has I mean, centerfire also, but I think rimfire has so much potential because
That,
the cost is less to get into.
yeah.
And because the access to it in some of the other countries is a little
Yes.
easier.
Yeah, well, and even, I mean, you don't have to have a super large range. I mean, if your local range only has, I mean, even 100, yard capacity or 150, I mean, if you can have a 200-yard range, you're golden. Like,
Hey,
because you can make it challenging.
Ruth and Justin have figured it out, man. Those shotgun
Yeah.
ranges.
I've not, which I'm really bummed about, but I've heard amazing things because you can make it challenging with the size of targets. So it doesn't matter if it's only 70 yards. Try to hit that quarter-inch target. You know
But
what I mean?
at the national championship, that was a shotgun range, and
Yes,
that place
precisely.
was amazing. I mean, the
It
facilities
was.
they had, that was nice.
It
I
was.
think they're onto something. We need to find more of those because those people
Yeah.
like to spend money on their facilities.
Yeah, definitely. For sure.
A lot of potential there.
Yeah.
All right, are there any
Oh,
more?
yeah, we got a live comment. The hula hoops. The on deck shooter being in the hula hoop. Oh my God. That changed our lives. Thank you, Ashley. Prentice's wife commented about the hula hoops that we used.
Have
The on
I?
deck
Is that
shooter had to be
new?
in a hula hoop. Oh yeah, it was new for this year and it
Okay.
changed everything. It was wonderful.
That's awesome. See,
Like,
another reason I need to come and shoot in Texas.
Yeah. There were also hula hoop contests. That was kind of a side quest.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta have contests at a contest.
Wait, were you
Yeah.
hula hooping and shooting at the same time?
No, ma'am.
that
No.
sounds kind of sketchy.
It does.
Thought it'd be odd.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we good on shout out? I mean, are we good on live comments?
Yes. Good on live comments.
Words are hard. Sorry.
Words are hard late at night.
I have the words in my brain and they come out in different orders. We can wind down to shout outs now.
There we go.
Greg.
Oh, shout outs. Me. Yes. I will shout out our sponsors for. Ooh, that's what we were supposed to talk about that we didn't talk about. Live streaming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't put it in the notes. I forgot.
Listen, Corey wrote the notes. So, live streaming, Cameo, a couple weeks. September,
Yes.
what's the first day?
11th.
September 11th.
Yeah.
we are going to be at Cameo live streaming World Championships. We're going to be on the Shooters Mindset Facebook page and YouTube page live as much as we possibly can be.
The 11th and 12th are the what do you call them?
Days.
Yeah, train up days, practice days, stuff like that. So the 11th and 12th, you'll have a little live here, a little live there from us, kind of getting our system set.
The opening ceremonies are the night of the 12th.
And so we will be live for the whole opening ceremonies. I'll have to find a roof someplace to stand on. And we'll be live a little bit on the 11th and the 12th during the day, you know, see some of the vendors, some of the demos, some of the zero range, chat with some people. We'll probably stick Camden in front of a camera at some point in time. You know, whatever else we could come up with. But then during the match, it is 4 days of competition. We will be live. Our plan right now is to do like a morning stream and an afternoon stream with a reset break at lunchtime so we can move to a different part of the range, because like we were talking about before, it's split up into 2 geographically different areas. So we cannot beam our Starlink all the way across Cameo. It's a really big place, so we're going to need to shut down, reset. But look for that. Yeah, and we'll be doing closing ceremonies, and it'll be a great time. So make sure you tune in. Again, we're on Facebook and YouTube. Hopefully both will be live.
All the stages.
Yes, we'll go through all the stages, and all that stuff should stay up unless somebody gets mad at us and takes it down. It should stay up there forever for you guys to see. So special thanks to Masterpiece Arms for being both the title sponsor of the match and the title sponsor of the Shooter's Mindset coverage of this. Thank you to Vortex, who is going to be our official target camera of this event. So I'm sure you guys have seen at some of our other videos, we're getting better and better with nicer target cameras. We got our Razor spot and scopes that will be our target cams for this. And then Gun and Trophy Insurance, which is the insurance company I use for all my guns. And they are just advertising on our stream and helping get us to Cameo so we could do this for you guys.
Yeah, they were super cool when we had them on. That was a fun chat. I did not expect that to be fun, talking about insurance.
Yeah, that did sound like super lame. Like, yeah, guys, tonight I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna podcast for 2 hours about insurance.
Really good insurance and really good like you don't have to have all the serial numbers and every like scratch on your gun written down on insurance for it to be covered. Like, I mean, it's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, check that. Just search the Shooter's Mindset Insurance and you'll have 2 hours or an hour of us talking about insurance. It's really cool.
Yeah. So we do have an actual exciting announcement though, not insurance based.
More exciting than me going to Colorado.
I don't know.
So Greg and I and Jen talked, and it sounds like Camdyn is going to be joining us as a co-host moving forward with the Shooter's Mindset.
Yeah.
So we hope you enjoy her bright and smiling face every time.
Bringing the youth back, we gotta bring the average age down.
How old do you think I am, Jen? Hold on a second.
You ain't bringing the age down enough to balance
I'm in my prime.
Oh, that's too good. Oh, yeah. Thank you guys for this opportunity. I'm so excited to join the team and yeah, see what adventures we do all together. But I've enjoyed being on the podcast, and you guys are doing amazing things for the industry. And listening to Shooter's Mindset has been awesome, and now I get to be a part of it, which is even a bigger blessing. So thank you guys.
Yes, we're excited to be
have
taking you on.
It's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah.
All right, now Corey's got a shout out.
Okay, shout outs. We've had for shooting bags, JP rifles for Amazing Rifles that I did take to Finland and brought home.
Ooh.
Federal Ammo for all the games I play. Vortex for the wicked good optics. Planet Ford for supporting our matches
Aw.
and keeping me from getting stuck when I drive to matches because I don't fly. Hunter's HD Gold for the bitch and shades. Thunder Beast Arms for the suppressors. Texas Precision for giving me the job of my dreams. Furnace is 3 for 3 on that. And Ben Steger Pro Shop because Timmy is the original going full Timmy on a stage, and I like
Camden, what shout outs you got?
All right. Well, first and foremost, the Lord for this amazing opportunity to be on here tonight and for this last year. And then a shout out to my family. All this would not have been possible without my family and my dad introducing me to the sport. So I am blessed beyond measures for their love and support. And a shout out to my sponsors, to Burst Optics for always letting me see clearly, misses and hits, to We Bad Bags for the incredible support bags they provide, for Real Avid for all the tools and clean supplies, OBI, if you know, you know, the link system is incredible, to Lapua for giving me the best ammunition possible, and Voodoo Gunworks for my awesome action, and to you guys for having me on tonight, and yeah, for all the future endeavors. I'm excited.
And I just want to shout out Camden for coming and spending tonight with us and then committing to spend, I guess you've just given up your Tuesday
Eternity.
nights for forever.
it.
For but for everything that you do for the sport, because you've always been such a good ambassador for the sport. And, every time that I've seen you, you've just been smiling no matter what, and always a good ambassador for the sport, for your companies that you are representing, and a good ambassador for the Lord, because you always represent that well also. So shout out to you for all of that. And with that, it'll be a wrap for episode 449. And we will see everybody next time.
Yay, thank you.